Hello and welcome to Tricks of the S-Trade channel. Today is the 14th of March 2018 and this is a continuation of a video that we just started I think a day ago. It's called Wakanda, Real or Fake. So if you're actually watching this particular video, you have to watch the Wakanda Real or Fake Part 1 first before you can continue watching this one, because this is like a part 2. We're gonna make this a part of a series when the Black Panther DVD comes out. So you need to watch these first two parts before you can actually watch the Black Panther part that will coming out and when the DVD comes out rather. So for you to watch this particular video, if you're a new subscriber or for anybody watching this particular video, you need to watch the part 1 first. Without watching the part 1, you're not going to understand what's happening here in the part 2, because I'm not going to be explaining what we already talked about on the part 1 series. So please watch the part 1 of Wakanda Real or Fake, and let me show you that right away. So here is the series that you need to watch first, Wakanda Real or Fake Part 1, because I don't want to go on to repeat what I already said on the part 1, because this is like a continuation. So please watch this first before you can watch the one that we're making right now. And also remember, the reason why you're looking at this on the screen is because the Vatican is, as usual, trying to shut us down for telling you guys the truth and making you understand your world, and that you shouldn't be so brainwashed about the mind games they play with you as the public. They landed a strike on account for the Selena Q video and said that we had nudity in that particular video. But as you can watch, as you're looking at the screen right here, you find out that there is no minute mark for the violation of YouTube's policy on nudity and sexual content that it says. Is because the Vatican is owned by YouTube and YouTube is the Vatican. So that's why you're looking at it on our screen right here right now. So what we have done is that we've put all this information for you in a book, and you still have 2 weeks to get on the list of people who are going to get the book. After 2 weeks, you might have to wait a little bit longer to get the book. So we've put all this information to make you understand your world, our real history inside a book. So if you're interested in the book, just send us an email with the title book, and we'll send you an email back, and then we'll print a copy of the book for you. You still have 2 weeks to get a copy of the first few copies that are going to come out. Otherwise, you might have to wait a little bit while longer if you're interested in the book. So if you're interested also in watching the Selena Q video, in which the Vatican landed a strike on account for no apparent reason, you can watch the Bono video, and the Bono video will give you instructions on how to get that. But if you're a new subscriber, please, I have to repeat this again. To watch this video, you have to watch the first part, Wakanda Real or Fake Part 1. There is no need for anybody to watch this Part 2 without watching this one first, because a lot of the things that we're saying on this Part 2 is taken from the Part 1. Okay, a lot of the things that we're saying, so we're not going to repeat it. So if you do not watch the Part 1, you're not going to understand what we're saying here in the Part 2. It's going to sound complicated to you. So please watch the part 1 first before you do watch this one. And also, if you're a new subscriber, you need to watch 2 videos. If you're somebody who's just on the channel before, then you need to watch, if you're a new subscriber, you're going to be watching 3 videos. You're going to be watching the primer video first. It's called primer video. And then when you're done watching the primer video, you can come back and continue watching the Wakanda Real or Fake Part 1. If you're not a new subscriber, you have to watch the part 1 first before you can watch this part 2. Otherwise, you're not going to understand anything we're saying. So with that said, let's get into part 2 of Wakanda, Real or Fake. So we had already talked about on the part 1 that the movie Black Panther is a very disrespectful movie towards humanity. And we had already started talking about the fact that that in the system of white or albino supremacy, as we call it, that the albino elite can never ever portray humanity in the right limelight. We've talked about that on the part 2. So since the Black Panther movie has been making, a lot of, very brainwashed black people or humanity around the world think that everything is okay, because this is how the albinic elite lie about the fact that racism doesn't exist. It's just something that's a figment in your mind. So they can pass this on as some sort of useful argument when they make arguments. Oh, there was a movie which had an all-black cast. We've had a black president in the White House. So racism doesn't really exist because they don't want you to understand what racism is. We've explained it in detail what racism is actually means in our book. So if you're interested in the book, you have to send us an email and get on the list of the first few people who are going to get the book in the next couple of weeks before the end of the month of March. And like I've said before, the Vatican is trying to shut us down because we're telling you the truth. So please send us an email so we have you also on our email list for future correspondence, since we're working on our website and we're also working on movies down the line, so we can keep you updated on what's going on. So who we're featuring today is a member of the cast of Black Panther, and her name is Letitia Wright. Now, Letitia Wright, we just want to read a few things from her Wikipedia page. It says here, Letitia Michelle Wright, born 31st October 1993, and right there, a Vatican code of number is at work, 31, 3, 1993. So that means that she was bred to be in this role. Now, the Letitia Wright actually looks to you like she's actually a woman, but it is not. We won't have time to go into a lot of details on this particular series of a Wakanda Real or Fake, because we want the Black Panther DVD to come out so we can be able to show you pictures from it of what is really going on, so you can understand that in a system of albanic supremacy, that nothing good can come from them. There's no need for you to get excited and think that this movie is a portrayal of humanity in its right narrative. All this is a lie to brainwash you and to mind control you so you do not understand what's going on in your world, for the people who are responsible for what we have as racism today. We explain in full detail what racism actually means. It's a definition that you're not going to see or you've never heard before in your whole entire life about what it actually is, but we'll explain it in full detail in our book. So Letitia right here is a stooge of the Vatican and is being used to paint the deception and portrayal of humanity in a very, very wrong way. Because as we're going to find out, Letitia doesn't stand up to the test of being a female. And so far we've discovered in the movie Black Panther that there are actually 4 people there who are actually transgenders. Like if you've watched the Real or Fake Wakanda Part 1, you would have found out that Ryan Coogler and Winston Duke and somebody we featured a very long time ago in a video already, Angela Bassett, and now Letitia Wright. So you have 4 crews, 4 cast members who are actually not the gender they claim. So let's get into this, because like we said, this is just a continuation of the part 1, which you need to watch before you get on this, because a lot of things we're going to be saying here, we are not going to be going into detail. We just want to give you straight for you to see the pictures that Letitia Wright doesn't stand up to the test of being a female, a born female of humanity. So let's do that. So here is Letitia right here. As you can see, we had talked about on the part 1 that with black people, especially the males, that the males have the longest limbs in the world compared to anybody else who doesn't have woolly hair. And as you're looking at Letitia right here, you're looking at a man, because the arms are way too long. Now, we don't have time because we were trying to find pictures of Letitia Wright to see if we could find any pictures in which she would show her hips. She was always covered up, but we don't need the hips, we have the back. So as usual, you know, the standard test for checking out if someone is male or female lies in the back and in the pelvic region. With males, it's always a straight back, because males do not get pregnant, so there's no arch in this back. So as you're looking at Letitia right here, you're looking at the muscular structure and long arms of a male, a black male. Because remember, if you're a female, when you measure your elbows, the length of your elbows from your shoulders to your elbows, it's always going to cut the body in half. But what you see here with Letitia right here is that the whole length of the elbows is almost taking the bodies up 3/4, because this is the whole length, right, of a black male's arms, which are very long. Letitia Wright is masquerading around as a female. This is a bona fide male. So do not be deceived that the movie Black Panther that you're watching was actually giving you the right portrayal of humanity. It's actually a very disrespectful movie. And this is kind of movies that Hollywood, which is owned by the Vatican, keeps turning out. So let's move further. Here's Letitia Wright again. As you can see, he has a girdle on her waist, but there is no arch in that back. Let me try to blow this up as much as I can so you guys can see clearly that there is no arch in this back. It's a straight back because it's the back of a male, and the long arms are the long limbs of a male. So do not be deceived that watching Black Panther makes the world okay, that racism doesn't exist, that humanity is being portrayed in the correct light. This is not happening because, like we've explained before on the part 1 series, that white or albino supremacy is run by the devil and nothing good can come from it, because all the devil seeks to do is have control over humanity, or rather denigrate humanity, so they cannot identify themselves as being born or being bred or being created by God Almighty, who created us in his image, black with woolly hair. So let's go further. That's Letitia right here, sorry to say, straight back, the back of a black man. All right, let's go another picture. And what I want you to notice is the way Letitia sits right here. The length of the arms from the shoulders to the elbows are way too long for it to fit into the description of a black woman. If you're looking at this other females over here, the length from their elbows, right, from their shoulders to their elbows rather, as is not that long as you compare with this one. And look at the knees. What do you notice about the knees? Letitia's knees are much more angled, like the angles of a black male. You can see how round the knees are on Danai Gurira. That doesn't mean that Danai Gurira is a good person. They are all stooges of the Vatican, including Lupita Nyong'o, because they should have told you that Letitia right here is a bona fide male and not a man. And you can see how ridiculous this movie is in Black Panther, because the wisest person, because Letitia happens to be the one who's producing all the gadgets, she's like a techno giant in the movie, is actually a fraud. So what does that tell you about the movie? That your techno giants are frauds because they're liars. She's a fraud. So how can anything that she's producing be good? So that's just what I want you to notice. Let's move on to the next picture. Here's Letitia right there. Is that the face of a black woman? No, that is the face of a black male. The strong neck, as you can see, and the strong neck right here tells you this is the face of a black male. We don't usually use necks because necks has nothing to do with your gender. We stick to the skeletal structure, the primary identification markers between the sexes, which lies in the pelvis and the back. But since we have covered that, the primary identification markers, we can use the secondary ones to show you that the person that you're looking at, Letitia right here, is no woman. This is a man, and a disrespectful presentation of femalehood in the movie Black Panther, which is actually a very disrespectful movie to woolly haired folk. So let's go further. Here is Letitia Wright. As you can see, this back is shaped like a P. If you've watched the part 1 already and you know how we identify the male markers, you would see that this back is shaped like a P and goes straight down, even though this picture is not very huge. Let me see if I can blow this up as much as I can. You can see clearly that this is the back that's shaped like a P, which is how the back of a male is shaped. There is no arch in this back. Letitia Wright is 100% male, was never female, and is being played by a stooge. He's played as a stooge of the Vatican and working for albino supremacy. So one thing you guys have to understand, because we'll explain all that in the book, is that albino supremacy is an ideology. It's not based on the color of your skin or texture of your hair. What albino supremacy does is that anybody can practice it irrespective of what they look like, as long as the practice benefits the white, or what we call the albino elite. That is the real meaning of albino supremacy. We won't have time much to explain this because already we made the first part very long. When you get the book, you're going to get full details to understand that albino supremacy, or what they call white supremacy, is an ideology. That does not mean that a person who's black with woolly hair can't practice it. A person black with woolly hair can practice albino supremacy because the benefit is always going to go to the albinic elite, or the white elite. That is the real meaning. Okay, so as you can see right here, Letitia has a straight back. Straight back, there is no arch in that back because this is the back of a black male. And the long arms that are associated with black males, as you can see here, we'll have some more good pictures for you to see that. But right here, this is a straight back and there is no arch. It doesn't even look like there is an arch right here. This is a man being portrayed to you as a woman in the movie Black Panther, which a lot of people, so many brainwashed people, actually dressed up to go see, watch a movie that's talking about killing them and disrespecting them rather. Okay, let's go on. And here is the long arms of a black male, as we already stated and made you understand in the part 1, which you need to watch before you can watch this part 2, because if you don't, you are not going to be able to understand anything else we're saying here, because we stated specifically that black males have long arms, long limbs. There is no excuse for a black male or person who has woolly hair not to have long arms. This is the identification markers for all black males. All right. So, and this is what Letitia Wright has: the long arms of a black male, almost reaching down to the knees, which is right here, because Letitia Wright. And you can see the straight back. Let me blow this up again so you can see that pretty well. This is the straight back of a black male. There is no arch in this back because Letitia Wright is 100% male and not a woman, been masquerading around and selling you a delusion that the elite, the white or the albinic elite rather, have finally decided and changed their minds to like black people. Ridiculous. Let's go forward. Here is a Letitia Wright again on a magazine called Style Magazine. Now, what I want you guys to note about this is that it's no coincidence that the face of Letitia is right in the center of a Y. Because what did the albinic elite tell us about males? That males have XY chromosomes, right? And the X chromosomes are associated with femininity of females, right? And the Y is always associated with males. So is it a coincidence that the Y in the Style magazine is right here in the center of the face over Letitia Wright? Because why? Letitia Wright is male. As you can see here, they started with the Y and the LE. It's almost like spelling a male. It's no coincidence, because this is how the albinic elite, the people who practice the white supremacy or albino supremacy, make this out to be. They're laughing in your face. They're laughing at you going to the movie theater and actually paying for a movie ticket to watch this horrible movie about humanity. All right, let's go. Another picture, and here's Letitia Wright again. You can see this is the straight back of a black male. There is no arch in this back. It's straight all the way down. A female would have an arch right here, because specifically, you can also notice that Letitia Wright is wearing a girdle. Wearing a girdle would even show more of an arch, but you can't find it right here. It's a straight back all the way down, because Letitia Wright is 100% male and not a woman. This is how the Vatican laughs at, woolly haired people, and they actually think that they like them. That's how the elite, the white elite, laugh at you guys, and you guys actually think that they like you. Well, in this portrayal, we just wanted to show you that Angela Bassett right here is male, We have a video on Angela Bassett. You can go look it up on the channel. And Letitia right here is male. So you have two males. And isn't it crazy that they chose a male to play the role of the Queen of Wakanda, to T'Challa? Now, the name T'Challa means a lot of things. We don't have time to explain it, but when you read the book, you'll understand that. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. We had a little bit of 50 cents coming in the background, but if you like 50 cents, yeah, I mean, the music is not bad if that's what you like, but sorry about that. We apologize. But all the same, so let's get back to what we're trying to say here, that it is when you get the book that you'll understand the names of the people in Black Panther actually mean something. Like, it's no excuse that they name it's not a coincidence rather that they named Chadwick Boseman to play the role of T'Challa. The names Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa mean something very, very significant. When you get the book, you'll understand why, because we want people to get the book. So at the end of the day, when we start explaining the movie Black Panther when it comes out on DVD, you can understand it more and say, oh my goodness. So the names of Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa mean something very, very unique. So getting back to the subject of talking about Angela Bassett, that it's no coincidence that they chose Angela Bassett, who is a black male, all right, to play the queen, because they're trying to muddle up the story of what Wakanda really stands for. Because even though Wakanda is a fictitious name in the movie, Wakanda does actually exist, and the name means something very, very significant. So when you get the book and when the DVD comes out, we'll explain that all in detail so you can understand. So if you're still interested in the book, please send us an email with the title book so you can get all this information, because the Vatican is trying to shut us down. They can shut us down at any point in time. So please do that. Let's put the book in your hands so you have something. So I want you to notice the difference, that this is a black man, it's not a woman. And this is also a black man and not a woman. All right, let's go some more pictures. And here is Letitia Wright, as you can see right here. This is the straight back of a black male. There's no arch, the long arms of a black male, because Letitia Wright is 100% male. This is not a black woman. This is a representation of a black man and a diss on humanity in playing that movie Black Panther. And people, let me just give you a few tips about Black Panther. The Black Panther comics came out during the I think the 1960s, when the albinic supremacists decided to create so many like black faction groups in the United States of America, to use it to keep on perpetuating racism. Okay, so that's how Black Panther is actually from that particular era. So that's one thing you have to know. Why? Because you have to understand that albino supremacy are the leaders of all the factions that are running this world. They lead, because this is the best way to put it. If you wanna direct something in the way you want it to be, you have to be a leader of it. Because if you allow true opposition to rise up, there's always going to be a problem. So the albinic elite are in control of all opposition that runs counter or against them. We've talked about that a little bit in the Wakanda part 1, which you have to watch before you watch this one. So let's continue on. It's just a picture. We just wanted to show you that, this is a picture of the cast of Black Panther, and that this is a man and is not a woman in any way, shape, or form. There is no hourglass figure. The knees don't add up, because this is the long arms also of a black male, comparable to the height that she has. This is a man. All right, so let's move further, and here is it again. The long arms of a black male. These are the long arms, because you can see the length of the elbows, right? The length from the shoulders to the elbows are almost 3/4. They're taking like 3/4 of the whole entire length of the torso of the body. Because this is a man. This is not a woman. It's not a black woman. It's a black man. All right, let's go further. And here's Letitia Wright again. As you can see, the long arms of a black male all the way down past the crotch. This is almost reaching down to the knees because Letitia Wright is 100% male, is not a man. All right. Now the picture, we couldn't find clear pictures to show you the hips, but we're okay with the long arms because that's proof enough that you're looking at a black male, because it's only black males that have this kind of long arms in relation to the height of the body which she has. This is no black woman, 100% male. All right, let's go another picture. And here is her, here is him as we would call it now, with T'Challa. And as you can see, there is no arch right here. It's a straight back all the way down, and the length of the elbows even reach past where the curve of a feminine figure usually starts. You can see right here, we can't even see the elbows because they cut the pictures, but if this is where the waist is supposed to be, the elbows are way past that. And this doesn't happen with females. With the females, the elbows are always going to come to the rest point of where the waist is at. And this is not a black woman. This is a black man. All right, another picture. Straight back again, as you can see right here. These are the mannerisms of a black male. You can just look and see through this very clearly that you're looking at a black male acting like a woman. All right, let's go further. That's, what do you think that is? Do those look like a black woman's features? Of course not. You're looking at a black male right here. All right, let's go another picture. We already showed you that one, but you can still see the long arms. It's ridiculously long for a black woman because it's not. It's a black man. The Vatican is interested. This is why we're saying there is an organized system put in place to be taking young kids and turning them into what you're seeing right here with Letitia Wright. Let's go. Here is Letitia Wright again. As you can see, there is no arch in this back. It's a straight back all the way down because this is the back of a black man and not the back of a black woman. Okay. Letitia Wright again. You can see what I was trying to tell you. This is where the elbow's at. And this is where they say that she's supposed to have an arch in the back, because in a typical woman's body, right, this is where the elbows would be at. Because that is where the female waist is at. The elbows always align with the female waist. But here you can see that it's farther down, all the way down, and it's more like 3/4 of the body. If you measure the length of the torso, we will say right here that this is where the crotch ends right here. The crotch is right around here, and the elbows are right around here. They've taken 3/4 of the body already, because Letitia Wright is 100% male. And as usual with females, the arms always follow the contours of the body. So if a female has an hourglass figure, your arms are going to look like an hourglass figure also, because that's how the female skeletal structure is designed. But you can see this is all straight up and down because it's a black male, and the arms are way too long, almost reaching down to the knees, because you're looking at a black male and not a woman. All right, so here is it again. There's no arch in this back. Even through them clothes, you're supposed to see some sort of arch shaped back, but you can't see that because you're looking at a black male. So that's another picture. We just wanted you to see that one, that's a black man sitting and not a black woman. And here it is again. There is no arch in the back. It's a straight back all the way down, all the way down. This is not, and you can see the elbows are even way past where the female waist is supposed to be, because you're looking at a black male and not a black man. All right. Okay, I think we've come to the end of today's video, and like I've said before, Letitia Wright is no ordinary person, because right here you can see that the Vatican Code of Numbers at work. She was born on the 31st of October on the number 3 in 1993. If you're interested in the Vatican Code of Numbers, please go look for the video called the Lisa Lopez or Lisa Lopes video on the channel, or look for the playlist that's called Vatican Code of Numbers, and it will go into detail into explaining what that's all about. And as usual, we've put so much, all that detailed information, much more detail, so you can really understand what it's all about in the Vatican Code of Numbers in a book. So you still have 2 weeks to get the first copies that are coming out. So if you're interested, please send us an email with the title book, and send us an email because we want to keep your email contact information for future correspondences on our website, and also for some things that we're working down the pipeline, like movies. So if you've learned something, that's good. Remember, you have to watch the real Wakanda Real or Fake Part 1 before you can watch this, because it's a continuation. And we leave you with these words as usual: look with your eyes, but see with your brain. Thanks. Bye bye.